it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I am here to bring you guys a video giving you guys my review on the Nomad Cosmetics Harajuku Tokyo palette. So if you guys are interested in hearing my opinion about this palette and how it works on my complexion and how it's worked with me, then just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so I will say that this is of course a look from this palette. This is the third and final look, and yeah, this is a palette that of course I really gravitated towards because of the packaging and the background. If you did not know, I feel like I've said it multiple times before, I studied Japanese in high school and I still have a soft spot for the culture and the language. I would like to kind of pick it up again later on in life, hopefully. But anyways, that's really why I was attracted to this palette. And on top of it, I also enjoy testing out pastels on my complexion. Not many people my complexion actually wear pastels, and I feel like that is a niche that I have grown to learn a lot about because I have a good amount of pastel palettes and just pastel colors in my collection overall. I will be swatching this palette in just a second, but I did want to say there are 3 rows of 5 eyeshadows, so 15 eyeshadows in total in this palette. The first row is all matte, the second row is basically satins, all satins, and then the bottom row are the metallics, but they're definitely duochromes. I will do my best to try and get the duochrome effect on camera, but every time I try, it never really works out. It has a 12-month shelf life. It is cruelty-free and vegan. There are it's 1.5 grams of product within this palette. It was designed in Tokyo, but it was manufactured in China. The distribution area that they came from though is from New York. The shipping time on this was extremely fast. I purchased this, I want to say on maybe Monday. I got the shipping confirmation, I want to say latest Wednesday, and I had it in my hands by that Friday. So the shipping of this palette was extremely fast, so I'm very happy about that. It came perfectly packaged. None of the shadows were damaged. The mirror wasn't damaged, anything like that. The mirror is a very good mirror, and the actual packaging does not look cheap. It actually looks, the graphics are good. Yeah. The names are printed on the palette. I truly enjoy that. And yeah, I think that's all of the palette information. I can't remember off the top of my head how much I paid for this, but I will of course have it flashing on the screen so you guys can know, and I will of course give you guys the price per gram as well. So yeah, I think that's enough talking. Let's get into the swatching. I will of course tell you guys then. Wait, I've already swatched this. So what I'm gonna do is just literally input the footage of me swatching, because I quite literally have already swatched this, and by the time this is up, you guys will have already seen the swatch video of this palette. So that's fun. And I am gonna go row by row by row. I'm gonna start off with the top row, and I will tell you guys the name of each shadow before I swatch it. So let's just for real get into it. The first shade is Kawaii, and this is like a beautiful tangerine orange. It feels like a matte and it looks like a matte. Next we have hold on, glasses are needed. Takinoko Zoku, and this is a very pretty lavender purple. Very pretty lavender purple. Next we have Melty Room. And this is a very pretty, what looks to be a matte yellow. Next we have Kakigori, and this is like a nice teal, a very pretty teal. So we have an orange, a purple, a green, and a teal. And then last in this top row is Visual Kai, and this looks like a black. but it doesn't look like a matte black. This looks to be a little bit more satiny in nature. But these all have like a similar like matte satiny type feel going on. Next we have Lolita, which is a very pretty pink color. Very pretty pink, and this is actual satin. Then we have Now Is Forever, and this is like another green color, kind of like a Tiffany blue green situation. Next we have Hanami, which looks to be like a nude. So maybe for lighter complexions, this might be a really good transition. But these are all, like I said, these are all satins in my opinion thus far. And then we have Gairu, and this is like a pink, but this is definitely a more brighter pink than in the previous row. And then last in this row we have Kuroi Ninji, and this looks to be like a brownie gray, which is interesting. On my complexion it looks a lot more gray white, but it definitely has like a brown tinge to it. So from just swatching, the top row is definitely matte and the second row is definitely satin. The bottom row looks to be more of like a foily gold metallic situation going on. So I'm just going to give my arm a little bit of rest, and then we will go to this last row. The last row starts with Decora, and this is a beautiful, beautiful duochrome. Beautiful duochrome. This is like a pink to purple to blue. From what I can tell in the viewfinder, it looks like you guys might be able to see what's going on. Next we have Zaku Zaku, and this, oh my god, this in pan looks to be a yellow, and it is a yellow, but it also has purple and pink in it. I don't even know if you guys can see the yellow, but it's outstanding. My arm is killing me. Next we have Takishi Dori, and this looks to be a lot more glittery, a lot less pressed, and this is just a very, very beautiful metallic purple. Next we have Mushi Mushi, and I actually know what that means. That's like hello on the phone and goodbye on the phone. That is beautiful. That is like a teal blue. And then the last one in this row is Otaku, and this is like another duochrome as well. These are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Specifically this last row and this middle, like they're all pretty. Astoundingly pretty. How do I feel about this palette? I love this palette. I was thoroughly surprised at how much I enjoyed this palette. All of the shades work on my complexion, and that is not something I was expecting with as pastel and as soft as these colors appear. Even like the more nudie shade, which is Hanami, which is this shade in the very middle. I don't even think you guys can see it on the viewfinder. I'll just swatch it really quickly. This shade even shows up, and when I put it on my complexion, it works. I use this as like a brow bone highlight, my second look, and it actually worked. It was really good. All of the pastels, which I would say the pastels focus in on this first row of mattes, those all show up on my complexion. I will say that the shade what is it? Kakigori, that shade is not as impactful as the other three shades. Or you know what, to be quite honest, Kakigori and Melty Room, these two shades right here, they're not as impactful as the first two. So if you want like a huge punch of pigment from the mattes, I would definitely say focus in on these two. I like these two shades. Like, I loved using the Melty Room as a beautiful transition. You guys know I love putting yellows in my transition area, and the Kakigori, I used that in my crease and I used it as a transition before, but I'm just saying it's not nearly as impactful as these two shades. As for the satins, I think they work. I've never been a huge satin person, but using this palette, I feel like I've changed my opinion slightly on them. I feel as though you can use these satins and blend them into your crease. Yes, you're going to see a slight sheen, but it's not going to be anything like crazy at all. And as for these metallics, they are impeccable. These, I'm actually going to swatch this entire row because this is just insane. So the first shade I'm going to swatch is Decora, and this is like a pinky purple. Then you have Zaku Zaku, which is a yellow to pink, and this is actually in my inner tear duct today. Then you have Takishi Tadori, and this is like a darker purple with some green reflex in there as well. It also has some pink in there. Next you have Mushi Mushi, and this is a green to pink. And then the last one is Otaku. Now all of these metallics have shimmer in them. That's how they all have shimmer in them, but they also all have like a duochrome type base. I'm just going ahead and just building up so you guys can truly see it fully, and then I will come in closer so you guys can see hopefully the true impact of these babies. These are the winning points for me in this palette. Like, had this palette been just fully of these shades, I would have been completely okay with it. These are just a delight, an actual delight. And I hope you guys can see. I'm just gonna mess with my lighting so you guys can see it at different lighting, and maybe even see the duochrome effect differently. Don't mind that top shade. That top shade is the nude shade that I was talking about earlier. Okay, let's try it now. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to see the reflectivity and the different colors that each shade brings. I thoroughly enjoy this palette, and after trying this one, I might have to check out their website to see if any of the other palettes that they have released have a color scheme that I am interested in. I am really happy that I purchased this palette, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I of course have a lot more looks that I think I can create with this palette. This palette is very unique in my collection. Even though I do have a lot of pastel palettes, I don't have pastel palettes with these different finishes and with this color scheme in general. I will link up in the cards the video that I did talking about the pastel palettes, in case you are wondering. It was a really long time ago, like within my first couple of months being on YouTube, so please forgive me if, just please forgive me. But other than that, I would highly recommend this palette. Even if you are my complexion darker, I think these shades will work on you. Now, if you're wondering what primer I used, I predominantly used my Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden, but this is the primer potion, or this is the primer I've been using for pretty much all of my looks all year. I do also have my Smashbox primer, but I honestly rarely use it anymore. I use it for like everyday looks. So I don't believe that this, Though I did not test out this palette with my Smashbox primer, I believe it would still work because of the pigmentation level of the actual shadows. I don't think that you need a lighter base for these to show up on your complexion. It just needs something to adhere to, and the Smashbox primer is sticky. It's just not lighter than my complexion. It's clear. So I would recommend this palette, and yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. If you want some other people who are like lighter complexion, I know Emily Violet Marie has already done, I believe she's already done her review. If she has, I will link it down below. And also Butte Bean, I want to say, I've been getting into her channel, and I believe she's already done her 3 looks and her review, and I will link both of those down below in case you are interested in seeing somebody of a lighter complexion and how these shadows work on their complexion. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, y'all, it has been real. Peace.